Good morning. Today is Tuesday, October 28th. It is 7:06 a.m. Central Time. So just going to kind of walk through things as we are gapping up to all-time highs on equities, which is amazing. So quick look on just options flow from yesterday really. And so just looking at SPY, Qs and gold combined and looking for contracts that are not expired and also contracts that are expiring within the next week. And since I'm more short term trading here, so it's interesting if you put all those three together, we're bearish. And then you look at the Qs, a little bit more bearish. Look at the SPY, a little bit less bearish, and then you look at gold, a little bit bullish, which is interesting. And so, I mean, it's interesting with gold being bullish, I guess, because we're down so much, and so people are expecting a pretty strong bounce. It looks like. So there's that. Q's a little bit more bearish, maybe because we're leading, and then SPY a little bit less kind of timid. So that's just kind of interesting. I didn't see too much on the dark pools as well. Nothing in the billions for SPY, so I didn't really mark anything new. You can kind of combine these, and there's a billion here, the 685s, and in the 676. Um, and so I thought that was interesting. It's kind of where we are. The 685 is kind of where we closed. Um, and then so for the Qs, there was kind of a 1.1 billion at the 616 level, which was where we launched off from, kind of pre-market into Monday. So there was definitely something there, but we got dark pulls more or less similarly with the SPY, kind of where we closed. So we're at all-time highs. You just have to kind of watch the level regardless. So I'm not going to mark that too much. And then for gold we had maybe 50 million or so in the 650 60 million in this 367 level, which is kind of more or less where we closed. So I think I marked that already, so we'll be watching that. So I thought that was pretty interesting as far as what the AIs are saying. NQ were neutral, bullish, and bearish on the gold. I think that's pretty the same across the board. So we got bullish, neutral on SPY, which is weird when you're at all-time highs, and then minor pullback in gold. I don't know if that was a minor pullback or like down 10%. So that's interesting. And on Claude, bullish, bearish. So I think the AIs are agreeing on what's happening with price. It's pretty obvious. So there you go. As far as things that are coming up, so I saw in the news there's something with Nvidia today with a keynote. I guess the CEO is speaking, and then we have a bunch of earnings. It's big tech earnings, and then there's a meeting with China with President Xi and Trump on Thursday, I think. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And then obviously we have the rate cut stuff tomorrow, which will be fun. And then we got PCE. This is Friday, so there you go. And today we have the consumer confidence at 9. So that's just a little blip to pay attention to a little bit after the open. So that is on my radar. I guess when we're looking, so yeah, as far as earnings that are coming up, I mean, we got Visa and UNH, so those will be interesting. But I guess stars of the show would be Microsoft, Google, Meta, and then Apple and Amazon. So those are the big ones Wednesday, Thursday, which also coincides with the rate cut stuff. So we'll see how things shake out. And I guess we can take a look at the indexes here. So zooming out here, let's see. Boom, all-time high, gap up, boom, gapped in all-time highs, and we're trying to eke out more. Same thing with the SPY. I think we might have just barely printed and like a couple, I don't know, points above. So that's interesting. Russell pushed all-time high, and now we're kind of falling over. So we'll see if we hold up. Dow, Dow is the one leading us. That's amazing. So we're kind of rotating into, I guess, out of NQ and SPY into Dow because Dow is the one leading us today. So I guess we're just going to inch all of them back and forth to all-time highs. So that's pretty interesting. VIX 15s, so no care in the world. Dollar kind of hanging out here where it's been, since April. So there you go. Got the treasury yields just kind of hanging out. Not really hasn't broke below this 389, so we'll see. Gold is interesting. I was really looking for like a push up into like this level a long time ago. It didn't happen. Tried to, kept falling over. Um, Yesterday broke this low, which was amazing, and then we just kept going after hours. So I have a lot of alerts here. I need to kind of clean this up. Um, I don't want to chase this down on the shorts. I mean, I took shorts on it yesterday, intraday, which was worked out fine. But longer holds, I would love for us to push back up to these breakdown levels. And then we'll kind of fall over a bit more. So we'll see, or at least that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm looking for. But also just open. You zoom out, right? There's a lot of people here that have pushed us up, so maybe they'll step in at some point. So we will see. But I guess maybe there's more. There's probably this week. There's more reason to buy into equities and tech and all that. So I guess we'll just kind of see how we go there. So for that's what things are looking like. I think one thing I was looking at on the Qs, just kind of out of curiosity. Oh no, that this is the NQ. If we go to Megatech first, save that. Yeah, so Megatech. So Apple is amazing, just up, up, super strong, which is great. Microsoft gapping up, super amazing. Amazon just going, which is amazing into earnings. Google just the one leading us into all-time highs, double gap. Is that a gap? A little bit of a gap, but definitely a gap. Meta coming really back to life. So there you go. Nvidia, I guess I got the keynote thing, so everybody's excited. So let's see if we can break this high. So that'll be interesting. Tesla, people are coming back. We are. Let's see. Let's see if it works. And then so yeah, the Qs are the Qs. It's interesting. I was looking at no, this is Tesla. I want the Qs. And so we had this all-time high gap into all-time highs and then gap again. It's pretty amazing, pretty strong. I don't know that there's shorting this right now. I mean, it's always a possibility, but yeah, it's pretty strong there. And I was looking at, well, when's the last time you had like a double gap up like that at all-time highs, and like what happened? Um, and so I was trying to look like here's kind of didn't not exactly right. So here was like the all-time highs, and we gapped, and then we almost didn't, and then we eked, and then we just kind of kept going. Um, and then there was that. I'm trying to look. I had marked one that I thought was interesting, like this one also. Right here was like a high, and then gapped into it and kind of kept going. Um, oh, I thought I put a highlighter. Anyways, I was picking these out just to kind of see how price behaved after all that, after you like gap into all-time highs. I think like this one potentially. So here's a high. Yeah, right here. Here's a high. You gap up, you break the all-time high, and then you gap up again. And then you kind of fall over a little bit, but then you keep going, and then there was kind of the crash of tariffs. So, that's kind of similar to today, not really, but kind of. We gapped over all-time highs here, and then gapped again the next day, but then fell over, closed the gap barely, you see, and then we kind of pushed back up, and then tariff stuff. But we'll see. I think October was meant to be the down month, and then November is seasonally a bullish month for the NQ, and so really depending on where we close, it's highly likely that we'll be above that at the end of November. So it's just kind of interesting. It's like you kind of missed your opportunity to buy the dip this year, and so and then Santa rally and all that. So we'll see. I mean, maybe this is where everybody starts thinking, "Oh, we got to chase it up," and really, there's going to be a big flush. But um, gap up. Like you see this gap up, it keeps running, and then we fall over. You see this gap up, it keeps running. Um, Gap up here, gap up here. So I don't know. Gap ups, double gap ups, like pretty close to each other. Like gap up, gap up. It's pretty strong. pretty bullish indicator. So we'll be kind of keeping an eye on that. I think you just have to follow what price is doing at this point. So that's my thoughts on the cues. I guess Mega Spy really quick. So Broadcom just kind of hanging out at highs. Berkshire. So I think there was somebody I read somewhere that Berkshire somebody gave Berkshire like a sell rating, um, because uh, I guess Buffett stepping down and succession worries and all that. So I don't know. That's something just to kind of keep in mind there. So there you go. But I don't really follow it too much. So it was just a headline that I read. JP Morgan seems like we are holding that low when we are going back up. So that's interesting. LLY pushing up in the earnings. Visa holding up pretty good. Yeah, Netflix going down, down, down. Let's see if we can get to the 1,000 level. I'm like really curious. Nice round number. Let's see. Costco just hanging out, and then the SPY double gap up. So there you go. So double gap up, really driven by the overlap with the Qs. Um, so yeah, I mean that's what price looks like. Things are going up. If we look at, let us look at what the ES is looking like here. So this is regular trading hours. If I go electronic really quick, like we had yesterday, we had a bunch of selling imbalance here. We broke through that and, made highs, and looks like we're about to test them again. So let's see. So that is interesting there. On the gold front, just going, going, going. Lots of fighting right here on, I guess, pre-market Sunday, selling imbalance, selling imbalance, selling imbalance, selling imbalance, big selling imbalance here. For me, that's at first level of interest. There's 39.56, and then obviously this breakdown level at 39.85, maybe even into four hundreds or 4,000s. Um, I would love to see us get back up to here, even up to VWAP before I even consider shorting, just because we're at the point where maybe you wanna try to buy it. Um, I you did break the low of October 6th, kind of swept that. So I guess, somewhere between 38.58 and 39.13 are going to be your stop levels if you want to be long here. So we'll see. But I like kind of on the daily where we're turning below this EMA cloud. So if this starts turning red, I think there's like a swing short, that may be in play for rest of year. So we'll see. So that is what gold looks like for me. And then for the Qs, see, the Qs is interesting. Look at this. Like, you got this buying imbalance here, buying imbalance here on Monday, bought at the top, all this balance right here, kind of fell over a little bit. Sellers tried to step in, now pushing up, and look at all these buyers stepping in right here. Like, and then we broke new all-time highs again. Shit, that's pretty amazing. So yeah, I mean, if there's a pullback into these like buying imbalance levels, maybe there's a long on the Qs. Um, we'll just kind of see how that goes. So I am open more to longs on the Qs and ES and shorts on gold. I mean, I'm just going to follow price today. I'm not going to fight it. Um, cool. Well, that is it for me. Good luck, and yeah, don't get caught. We'll just have to see what this week brings. Again, just follow price. Don't try to fight it. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.